16 minutes past 2. Andy Hodgson kicking off till 4 o'clock today. Ross Satar is with us and we're going to talk Spurs in just a second. Has the Messiah arrived for Spurs in just a second? The latest games going on today. Norwich taking on Arsenal. It's 0-0 at the moment. Wolves were a goal down within 2 minutes at Molineux. Sheffield United are 1-0 up there. We've also got the FA Cup live today. Several games going on, Ros.
Several games going on. Several goals already. Wharton scores from Northampton in the first couple of minutes there. Peterborough are one up with Tony in 7 minutes, and Lee has scored in 15 minutes for Gillingham. So,
right. So
sorry, I lie.
No.
Gillingham's now 2.
Gillingham are 2-0 up against Doncaster Rovers. Whoa.
Burn and then Lee.
And
within a matter of 4 minutes.
Burnley. And I like that. Northampton Town 1-0 up then against Notts County, and Peterborough playing Dover. They should win. Were expected to win. That's what's going on. We'll keep you up to date with any live scores in the FA Cup as well as the Premier League, and we'll also talk snooker in about 15 minutes time as well, because the big snooker tournament, the UK Open, is on in York at the moment. We're going to be talking about that. And Charlton fans, you should keep your ears pinned to Love Sport Radio, because the goalkeeping coach down at Charlton, Andy Marshall, who also used to coach at Villa, so very relevant for today because Villa are playing Man United, he's going to talk to us in the next half an hour. Massive problems yesterday at Charlton with the players all going down sick. We shall find out what was happening down there from the inside with Andy Marshall in the next half an hour. So the Messiah has arrived. Good news, it's okay. Jose is in at Spurs.
I'm very happy with the results. I'm very happy with long periods during the matches, with fantastic football and also great individual performances. Of course, I don't like my teams to concede as many goals as we did.
So Mourinho is there on the line. Author and blogger Chris Cowlin is here. The Messiah's arrived, my friend. Great news. Let's get a T-shirt with his picture on. Yes.
Good afternoon, Andy. How you doing?
Very good. You must be delighted.
Absolutely delighted. I tell you what, we had some fantastic times under Maurizio Pochettino, but when Jose Mourinho arrived just 10 days ago, did we all think that in 10 days' time we'd be sitting here, last 16 of the Champions League, going up the league table in the Premier League, won 3 out of 3. It's like times under Ozzy Ardiles again, though. Scoring so many goals and letting so many goals in. But it's been entertaining. It's been a superb 10 days. And the man couldn't have done any more than he's done so far. That's
very true. Now, last week we had on celebrity Spurs fan Jeremy Edwards of Hollyoaks, Holby City, and Celebrity X Factor. And he said, and only with a slight tongue in a cheek, he said, I reckon we'll finish by winning the Champions League and 5th in the Premier League. Are you with him now? Are you with him?
I've always been very confident. When you've got someone like Jose Mourinho, a serial winner, he has won trophies every single club that he has been at. I feel very, very confident as a Tottenham fan that we are going to get the much-needed trophy that we desperately need, because, let's face it, it's been far too long. 61 since we've won a league title, 91 since an FA Cup, 84 since a European trophy, and the last trophy we won was in 2008 League Cup. So we are way overdue the trophies, and if Jose Mourinho can't deliver them at Tottenham, then who can? But it has been a great start for him.
So yesterday it was Tottenham 3, Bournemouth 2, but that it has to be said, much as Spurs looked great yesterday, there is a moment late on where you go, near the end. That must have been a bit worrying as a Spurs fan.
It was a bit worrying. Last weekend was exactly the same. We were 3-0 up at West Ham, we were 3-0 up yesterday, and midweek we were 2-0 down. So it's been entertaining matches, all three of them, but we do need to focus on the defence. And someone like Jose Mourinho has won so many trophies. You don't win trophies by having a poor defence. So I'm sure that he will shore up our defence very, very quickly. As he said at the start there, he doesn't like to concede goals. When you're 3-0 up and fully in control of the game, you must see these games out and get that comfortable win. But in the last sort of five minutes or so, it was very uncomfortable. And in the dying seconds, they nearly went through and got an equaliser, which would have just been dreadful for us.
Is there an element, I don't know whether it's like a hangover from Pochettino, that, not being able to hang on to a lead? is an issue. Do you think this is something that will work itself out the longer that Mourinho's in charge, or is this just is there something more fundamental?
I do think that we will improve vastly over the season now under Mourinho. There are a lot of times, particularly at Arsenal, away this season where we were leading and then we let the lead slip. But under Mourinho, as I said, he's a serial winner, so he will fix these problems very, very quickly.
Oh, wait there a minute, Chris. Wait there a minute, my friend. Norwich have just gone 1-0 up against Arsenal.
Oh, you beauty.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Cracking goal, takes a deflection under the keeper, and Pookie has got one, and Freddie Ljungberg does not look happy in the slightest, Chris.
The weekend gets even better.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, look at that. All right, so that's the latest, and Wolves are 1-0 down to Sheffield United as well. Incredible goal actually by Norwich. It was a deflection. They had 4 defenders back, Arsenal, and still Pookie just as a punt from just on the edge of the area. It takes the deflection, so the keeper's got no chance. A surprise because Arsenal have been battering Norwich. Back to Spurs though, Chris, because that's why you don't give a monkeys about Arsenal, do you? You're like, whatever, pal, whatever.
I've got a huge smile on my face now, yeah.
Of course you have, right. So yesterday, Dele Alli, where's he been? And welcome back. Good
question, where has he been? The Dele Alli is back to the old Dele Alli that we know. He's up there now with the greats, Lampard, Gerrard, etc. Mourinho has done absolute wonders since he's arrived, and he said that famous quote, are you Dele Alli or are you Dele Alli's brother? He's playing like Dele again, and 3 man of the match awards out of his first 3 matches under Mourinho is just absolutely superb, and the guy is just an absolute delight to watch. And a weird stat, every time Dele Alli scores, we know that we're going to go on to win the game or be unbeaten, because every time he scores, we are unbeaten.
Well, he nearly got a hat-trick as well yesterday, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. I just feel so much more comfortable now watching Spurs under Mourinho with the attacking style. You're always going to get goals from the likes of Dele Alli, Heung-min Son, Lucas Moura. It's fantastic, and of course Harry Kane. So you're always going to get goals.
Goal! Hang on a minute, Roz has got news. What's going on in the FA Cup?
Exeter have gone one up against Hartlepool. Bowman in the 21st minute.
All right, we'll keep you up to date with all those scores as they go in. Chris, I imagine the FA Cup second round, you couldn't give a monkeys about that either.
Do you know what? I really hope that Tottenham take the FA Cup seriously. It has always frustrated me when Mauricio Pochettino always put out, second strength teams, because I'm a great believer of putting strong teams out no matter what competition you're playing in. Jose Mourinho has always liked to win the domestic cups, and I really do hope that is the first cup in our trophy cabinet under our new manager.
Chris, so we were chatting about this earlier. I don't know whether you remember last year's ad campaign with this giant FA Cup attacking anybody who dissed it. Back in our day. And I'm going to lump Andy in here because he's got about as much grey hair as I have. Back in our day, the FA Cup was like a big thing. So, what's it like as a fan if your manager doesn't seem to give it its support?
I feel exactly the same. And for Tottenham, last win in the FA Cup in 1991, that is crazy. I consider it as a big cup, a cup that as a fan I always want to win. I'd love to go to Wembley and see Tottenham win an FA Cup, in the near future. And I hope that we do take it seriously. And I hate teams that diss the FA Cup. But when you look at the winners over the last 10, 15 years, it's only certain clubs that do seem to diss the competition, because all of the big teams do seem to want to win it.
Chris, thanks for joining us. He is a Spurs super fan. That's the league that man is in. Author and blogger Chris Cowlin on the line. If you want to get involved, and why wouldn't you? You'd be bonkers not to now, right? Then I'll give you the phone number. You can do the social media at Love Sport Radio, or you can call us 0208 870 20 558 if you want to get involved with your club. Norwich City 1-0 up against Arsenal at the moment. Wolves are 1-0 down to Sheffield United. And in the FA Cup, there are goals aplenty in the second round.
Goes hither and thither. So we've got Exeter 1 up in Hartlepool, Gillingham 2-0 1-0 up against Doncaster. Northampton 1-0 up against Notts. Peterborough 1-0 up against Dover.
All right, and as we go back to Carrow Road, Norwich taking on Arsenal. Norwich are 1-0 up, but Arsenal have got a penalty. They're about to take the penalty. Will it now be 1-1? This is turning into a cracking game. We've got some big games today.
Oh,
and Krul has saved the penalty. So Krul saves Arsenal's penalty. They remain 1-0 up. It was a poor penalty at the sort of height where a keeper could easily get to it. And he went to Krul's right, and interestingly, Krul was actually pointing to the right and almost telling him where to go. He doesn't slot it into the corner as you would expect a player of his calibre to do so, and literally Krul has to just literally lie down to his right-hand side, blocks the ball, gets the deflection, and it goes out. However, right now, live, they are checking VAR. Uh-oh, it's VAR time. They're checking VAR. So what will happen next? I have no idea. And this is one of the problems, Ros, is that they need to have the referee mic'd up so we know what's going on.
Well, mic'd up and also maybe showing this out. But while we talk about that, there is another goal in the FA Cup. Northampton now 2-0 up against Notts County. Oliver in the 25th. There's no need to be rude.
Oh, sorry.
In the 25th minute.
Oh, dear. Right, so it's live games going on
This
today.
is the issue with VAR. So we're watching this and nobody's got any idea. I mean, we don't have any idea and we're watching on a telly. If you imagine you're stood in the crowd and all you've got is a bunch of people standing around having a bit of conversation.
Okay, so what's happening at the moment is all the Norwich players are throwing their arms in the air.
Like they just don't
think
care.
it's because Krul was off his line before the ball was struck, so it's gone to VAR. I think that's what's happened. We'll see how it plays out. But certainly there was a hot debate. Does he get to take it again if that's the case? And I think